Good evening. I want to thank everyone for coming on tonight and tuning in because we have the Jack and Jill on our show tonight, the Western Maryland chapter. And I am so excited to have you guys. And I also have some young men on my show, so I'm always excited to have young voices on the show. I mean, I respect the older voices, but the young voices are really important. And so Jack and Jill is a very popular organization in Frederick. You guys been around for a long time, and I have the president, Nakisha Williams. I have Dr. Kia Tidsdale. She is the trailblazer and co-chair of the Trailblazers, and that's where we have Mateo and Steven on the show tonight, and myself, of course. But first, I we before we jump into why they're on my show, and I'm so excited that you guys are here. We're gonna do some quick introductions. So, I'm gonna let Nakisha, the president, go first and introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Nikisha Williams. I am the president of the Western Maryland chapter of Jack and Jill.
Kia, you can go next.
Hi, I'm Kia Tisdale. I am the co-chair of the Trailblazers, and that is our middle school aged children.
Steven and Mateo, you guys can jump right in whenever you're ready. Go ahead, Steven.
Hi, I'm Steven. I'm an eighth grader and a trailblazer at Jack and Jill.
Hi, my name is Mateo, and I'm part of the Trailblazer group, and I'm in eighth grade.
That's great. So, Steven and Matt, what schools do you guys go to? What school do you go to?
Urbana Middle.
I go to St. John Regional Catholic School.
St. John's Regional Catholic School in Urbana. Okay, so you guys what do y'all want to do? Eighth grade, so you'll be going to ninth grade soon. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Probably something with like app development, possibly, because I'm learning like new coding languages at the moment. So,
Okay, okay. And Steven, what about yourself?
I'm kind of tied between two career fields. One is being a pathologist, which kind of dissects dead bodies, and it kind of ties in with CSI and all that. And the other is a video game designer, because I'm pretty good at coding, and it's really fun playing video games. I'm just being honest here.
Well, that is pretty cool. And you guys were not in the same house, so just FYI, we all got the same background. So, pretty cool. And I, yeah, that you will always have a job, Stephen. Definitely, for sure, always have a job. So, Nikisha, could you tell me about Jack and Jill, how you got started? Just a little bit about your organization.
So Jack and Jill of America is a national organization. We've been around for 85 years. We just celebrated in January our 85th year in existence. So 85 years of excellence. We have 262 chapters nationally. And the Western Maryland chapter, of course, is one of them. The Western Maryland chapter includes SPOMs in Washington County and Frederick County. And we have 31 mothers and about 60 children in our organization. We focus on the enhancement of raising the next generation of African American leaders while developing programming that focuses on leadership development, cultural exposure, community service, legislative advocacy, and philanthropic giving. So some of the things along that with fundraising and community service is we've just finished up one of our new fundraiser with Got Sneakers. So I'm not sure if you ever heard of that organization, but Got Sneakers collects sneakers in communities and sends them to third world countries. So we thought this would be a great opportunity to try something different with Jack and Jill. And we set up boxes throughout Frederick County and collected through the month of December and January and collected, I think, close to 700 sneakers. and the community really showed up. We were at the Giant in Urbana, and as people were going grocery shopping, we were like, come on over, give us your gently used sneakers, and people came back with bags and bags and bags. So it was a great opportunity even for our kids. Our kids were out there with signs and really rallying the community. And then Jack and Jill is all about community service. So for every year we do an MLK Day of Service where we honor Martin Luther King, and we have service that we do in our local community. So this year we did a donation drive at Urbana Clubhouse and in Hagerstown with our chapter mothers, fathers, children, and associates. And we were able to collect 1,886 food donations, and then also many huge donations in toiletries. So it was so great to see all of our families and our kids packing all that food, and we took it to the Frederick Food Bank for them to fill their pantry, and we filled the whole pantry. So that was pretty awesome. And our fathers are involved too. We just set up a date for them to go with the Arch Society, which is also a great African-American group here in Frederick, to do a cemetery cleanup. So we're really excited about that, to get our dads involved. And every month our kids are involved with giving and community service. And that's how we're trying to raise them to be leaders in their community and in giving. Sorry, my Siri popped on my Apple Watch. She's always butting in. So, but yes, that is the essence of Jack and Jill: community service and strong programming. That's what we're all about.
So let me ask you a question. I know I live in Frederick, and Frederick is Jack and Jill is very well known in Frederick. I know a lot of people have asked about, joining Jack and Jill and things like that. How do they do that? What's the process of that? And if that's an option?
So Jack and Jill, we have families that do write in. So we do have on our website, on the Jack and Jill Western Maryland website, there is a link that you can fill out, and it says, tell us about yourself. And you can fill out about your family, about yourself, and what your interest is. So families can go to the link on the website. And then also our mothers reach out all the time to people in the community. We have children ages from 2 to 18 join the organization. So every year in September, we typically will have an open house. We advertise on Facebook and other social media outlets for people to come and learn about the organization. And then they complete an interest form. And then they go through a whole year of kind of getting to know the moms and the mission of Jack and Jill. And we get to learn them, and their children attend activities so they can get to learn our children, and the moms attend activities with the other moms. So it's really about people who are in line with the mission of Jack and Jill, raising strong African-American leaders, the next generation. So if they are in line with that mission, we encourage everyone to go to the website, fill out the interest form. The vice president will reach out to you and then let you know when the next interest meeting is coming up, which will probably be in October of 2023.
So I did add the website there. Is that it right there?
Thank you very much.
I did. So I added the website so people can, if you want to, you have some interest in Jack and Jill, you can always, this is the website you would go to. I apologize, everyone. I am actually getting over a cold. So, Kia, you talk about the blood drive. Could you tell me how it got started?
So the blood drive came about last year. I was actually trying to arrange a grade group activity for our middle schoolers that involved different area physicians, a dermatologist, an OBGYN, and a primary care provider, a pediatrician, to talk to the kids about self-care. And because of scheduling conflicts, I was not able to coordinate that. And so around the same time, I always listen to Sirius XM radio, and the American Red Cross had just a continuous campaign talking about sickle cell anemia and the need for Black blood donors or donors of African descent. And I honestly had not thought about sickle cell anemia since my residency, when I did work with sickle cell anemia patients. And so hearing this campaign day after day, I decided to go to the American Red Cross website and see what did it take to host a blood drive. And one of the mothers in the chapter reminded me that the American Red Cross was an official partner of Jack and Jill. And so I was like, wow. And so I filled out the information, and Neosha Hudson, who was the diversity manager at the time, she reached back out to me via email, probably within less than 30 minutes. And we, ended up speaking by Zoom, and I was just so inspired by her story and the statistics about sickle cell anemia and the critical need for donors of African descent, that I just felt that, and not only that, at the time that we originally spoke, there had not been a Jack and Jill chapter that had reached out to her to host a blood drive at that time. And this was October of 2021.
Yeah.
And so, it was just so inspiring. And I just really felt strongly that this was something that we should be doing, given the critical need for Black blood. And it just went from there. And, we did not end up actually hosting the drive because of COVID and delays in scheduling, and the Red Cross, they had, employee limitations as well. We did not actually have our blood drive until the end of May, actually, of 2022. But that's how it came about, just a campaign on talk radio, Sirius XM channel 126.
Great.
Channel.
Yeah, so I know when I was a medical assistant back in my day, way back in the day. So, and we would have a lot of clients that had sickle cell, and they were Black, young Black kids that had it. And I didn't realize how many Black kids were having sickle cell at that time. So you're right, it is very, then it is a large number of kids that have sickle cell. And I also have to say that a lot of Black African-American do not donate blood. And we need to get more African-Americans out there to donate. Like, it's so important to donate blood, because one day you might need some blood.
Yes.
One day, God
it's
forbid.
Critical.
And it's very important. And so now let's talk about the Trailblazers. How did the Trailblazers come about, and how are you the co-chair? Tell me about that.
So the Trailblazers, so the names of the different grade groups, we have the youngest, they're called the Sons, that's ages 2 to kindergarten. And I can't really tell you the mothers who chartered the chapter came up with these names, created these names, but it's the Sons are ages 2 to kindergarten, and then the Keys are ages 1st through 3rd grade. And President, please correct me if I get any of these the grades off. So the Keys are 1st through 3rd, 4th through 5th are the Mountain Movers. Trailblazers are 6th through 8th, and the Umoja movement are our high school age children, 9th through 12th. And I believe from just in reading through the website a year or so ago, that the names are kind of meant to represent like Trailblazer, kind of getting ready to make their mark, Mountain Movers. So I think it has something to do with the different phases and kind of meant to have like an action term, or some dynamics there. So, don't quote me. And President Nikisha, jump in, but I think that was kind of at the heart of some of the naming of the different groups. But I have been the co-chair, along with our fabulous corresponding secretary, Nicole, this year. And so it's a pretty decent sized group. And again, I couldn't be happier to have Mateo and Stephen, whose mothers volunteered them right on the spot when I said I needed some Trailblazers to join us on this podcast. So,
So thank you, Stephen and Mateo, for being in my hot seat.
Hot seat.
So yes, Trailblazers that is what that definitely means. And I know Trailblazer basketball team, so that's only I don't know. So so that
What
is
state
pretty
is that?
cool.
Is that Portland, Oregon Trailblazers? I don't know. What state is
Yeah,
that?
it was Portland,
Oh, okay.
Portland, Oregon.
So Mateo, why does your chapter's blood drive give target donors for African descents?
So we learned during our first blood drive last year that blood donors of African descent make up less than 1% of all blood donors. So
Okay. And Stephen, how else do you all get the word out about your blood drive? Because that's important, right? Making sure that people know about this blood drive, that's how we're going to get more people to participate. So what is your drive on getting people out to be educated about the blood drive?
Okay, so the blood drive was also listed on the American Red Cross's website. We put flyers with the motto, "Our blood saves lives," in a QR code that took you to the registration page that we posted to our chapter social media platforms. And on the day of the blood drive, one of the chapter moms walked some of the teens and middle schoolers through the surrounding neighborhood and asking residents to donate their blood. Because the more the merrier, and every drop counts. One extra drop of blood can save someone's life.
I agree, Stephen. So do you guys have that QR code? Do you guys have that QR code yet for the blood drive? Is it still being
The flyer for this year's blood drive, I have not received it as of yet. It may actually be in my email basket. I spoke to my point of contact for the Red Cross yesterday, and just I had another meeting right before the podcast. So the flyer is expected to be to me this week, and it will have the QR code. And the QR code, once it's posted to our social media and our other people that help us advertise, it will take you directly to the American Red Cross website, and you can register online.
Now, and they can do it on your website. You said your website or just the Blood Cross website?
So the QR code is built, it's on the flyer. The flyer that advertises the blood drive. And so that flyer, once posted, will be found on Jack and Jill Western Maryland chapter social media, as well as, friends and family that also share the flyer. And I certainly can share it with you too for your Next on the Mic Facebook family.
Please do, because I know I'm going to be there to donate. I like donating blood, so I would definitely be there. Now, Mateo, Stephen talked about getting people trying to recruit donors. How have you guys done that in the past? Like, what was your technique? Like, did you just pull them by the hair and say, come on, donate some? Or what'd you do?
So Moshe Hudson, the former diversity manager of the Red Cross of Baltimore, spoke to us last year during a presentation of sickle cell anemia. She challenged each of us in the Trailblazer group to secure at least 3 donors so we could ask our parents, teachers, other relatives, church members. But due to COVID, most of us asked our parents or people close to us.
Okay, pretty cool. So you guys have mentioned Baltimore. So Stephen, if you ever want to see some CSI stuff, go ahead and ask your mom to come visit me in Baltimore. You can come to the police department and see some cool stuff. They'll give you a whole tour, and they do great internships. So if you so just because you mentioned Baltimore and you say you want to look at some dead bodies, so there you go. You got a plug already. So the plug is there already. So we talked about sickle cell earlier, and why, Mateo, why is sickle cell anemia and Black donors so closely linked? Why is that?
More than 90% of people with sickle cell anemia are Black, and they need blood transfusions, and lots of them need to survive so they can feed their family, and more families have to mourn any loss.
Okay. And Stephen, I understand why donor African descent is so critical, important. to the Black people with sickle cell anemia. And since the vast majority of the patients with sickle cell anemia are African descent, why do you think the numbers of the Black donors remain so low? Because
Well,
we did talk about that. So why is it so low?
maybe because like they don't have time, or they need to work extra hours, get that extra mile, get some other job or something. Everyone's going through different scenarios, and some people aren't in the best health to donate blood. And there's some other factors that go into it. Like if you have sickness, disease, do drugs, all that sort of stuff.
Yes, and I agree with that. You made a great point, Stephen. I also think another thing is I would like to add to that is education. We need to also educate our Black community, and so you guys can be a big part of that, of making sure you educate your peers so that they can educate their parents to make sure that they understand how important it is to donate blood, especially when it comes to sickle cell. Okay, so Stephen, you say people are busy and they're like doing their thing, and you see somebody on the fence about donating blood. What would it be? What would you? What would what would it be that they're on the fence for donating blood?
They might not know who is going to exactly. Like they could oh, donate blood, but they might not even use their blood. Like you never know if you donate blood, right? You never know if it's going to be used or not. And it
so
can take a long time to get shipped across the country or something.
Okay. And so in Mateo, if you could say to someone who is unsure about donating blood and you want to convince them to donate blood, what would you hopefully convince him or her in making sure they donate? Because Steven said they don't even know like where it's going. So Mateo, you got to jump in and try to convince them. So what you gonna do?
Well, there's really nothing to lose, so you could actually save a life with the blood you're giving, and you don't have the moral loss of the lost family member.
I agree. And you guys are doing amazing. Ladies, I think donating blood is important. Could you guys tell me about how you guys have tackled some of those barriers and educating the Black community and getting more donors? Kia, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. One thing that I would like to add, and both Stephen and Mateo touched on it in answering one of your earlier questions about why the numbers of Black donors still remain so low, like Mateo said, less than 1%, is still that level of distrust. And not being sure what's going to happen with the blood if I do donate. You know, what is the science or what is the medical field going to do with the blood? And so that's one reason why, you know, we wanted to be on your podcast to kind of continue to dispel some of the myths surrounding blood donation, letting people know that it doesn't hurt to give blood, stressing how important it is that there are ethnically matched blood donations, because when people with sickle cell anemia, like Mateo said, they require so many blood donations that they are at risk for blood transfusion reactions. And the major way to reduce those blood transfusion reactions is to give them blood that is so closely matched to them, and that is through it being ethnically matched. So, you know, we all hear about being A positive, ABO, but it goes so much further than that, because different race groups have different proteins on their blood cells. And so that's why it's important that your ethnicity, you have that ethnic matching also be a part of the blood match. So continuing to host blood drives, continuing to people continuing to, even if they just come and watch others donate, seeing that it's a very friendly atmosphere. The screening process is very no stress, low stress. It's very familial feeling. You know, we have music. Of course, there are the snacks, the free gifts. Last year, we had some lunches sponsored by Chick-fil-A, just making people feel very comfortable with the entire process. And, you know, this is not to say that you don't have people who donate all the time. And again, these blood drives are public. So while we do target Black donors because there's such a critical need for Black donors, the blood drive is open to all donors. So we work with all donors.
Now, Stephen mentioned that a lot of people don't have time, right? Like, time is of the essence. So could you tell me, like, how long does this process take? Like, if somebody's never donated blood and they just like, listen, I'm on my lunch break, how long does this take?
So when you register, you do sign up for a specific time. And so last year, the time from when you hit the door, the screening process, the questionnaire, because you can do your questionnaire ahead of time. It's called, I think it was Rapid Pass.
Okay.
But you'll see that when you go online to register. I would say it's certainly definitely less than an hour. I would say what can take the longest is how hard of a stick you might be and just how well your blood flows. You know, I know for me, had almost filled up my entire bag and then my blood just kind of clotted off.
Mm-hmm.
But the registration process, especially if you do those questions ahead of time, does not take very long at all. And you do have timed appointments. So it's important if you signed up for an appointment time that you do the questions ahead of time and you sign up and you arrive, you know, on time for your appointment time.
And so, and I know, once again, I'm on my lunch break and I gotta get this blood drive done. But is there any side effect? Because I want to make sure I don't pass out or something like that. So is there any side effects to this?
No, I mean, they will tell you to make sure that you take it easy for the rest of the day, drink plenty of fluids. I felt, even though, I mean, I almost filled up the entire bag, I felt fine. But it is kind of like a freebie if you want to just take it easy for the rest of the day. But I felt totally fine.
Okay, and great.
And most people walked out of there. I didn't see anyone, you know, feeling like light on their feet. So
yeah. I just want to know. I know kids are afraid of needles, so it's like there age limit. Can Matt and Stephen go donate blood?
No, Mateo and Stephen cannot. I believe the youngest is 18. Some states do allow 16 with parental consent. But even if you are age 18, there is a weight requirement. So some of our very slim adults and 18-year-olds, there is a weight requirement. Don't ask me that weight requirement. I want to say it's probably at least 110 pounds, 115. But 18 is the youngest. Some states 16 with parental consent.
So Stephen and Mateo cannot donate blood.
They cannot donate, but they cannot ask people to donate.
So I know that you guys are all about community service. Nakisha, what events did you guys have coming up besides the blood drive? Like, what else do you guys have coming up that our community can support you guys with? Like, what's coming up this spring, this summer, and where can they find information?
I'm trying to think. I think the blood drive is our next huge community event that's coming up. In the fall, we will be doing a combined fundraising event with the Arch Society in October. So we will be advertising that and selling tickets for that event. And so we would love the community to come out and support these two great organizations within Frederick County. And then we still are taking donations for the Got Sneakers. So if there are members who would like, or people in the community who would like to still give their gently used sneakers, they can reach out on our website and let us know, and we can schedule a pickup for them. So we're going to continue that donation through the rest of the year.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm glad. I didn't know about the sneaker thing. My kids are sneakerheads, so we definitely have some sneakers that they have outgrown and pretty nice sneakers. So
and our donations are going to the Jack and Jill Foundation and to the Boys and Girls Club, for the Frederick County Boys and Girls Club. So it's going to two great organizations.
Okay, perfect. Mateo and Stephen, do you have anything else to add to your discussion about the blood drive?
I don't think I have anything.
You don't have anything? Okay, Stephen?
Just don't forget, donate blood. You can save a life.
Stephen, I'm gonna bring Stephen back. Stephen and Mateo, y'all gonna come back on my show and be a host. Like y'all gonna co-host with me one day because y'all did really good. So definitely, Mateo said he done dropped the mic and he's done. Y'all know what to do. Stephen said y'all better be out there. That's how that's gonna happen. And so thank you so much for that. So when is the blood drive? When is the blood drive again? Tell me one more time because I want to make sure that I actually can I put it out there or something.
The blood drive is April 29th.
Okay, April 29th.
That's a Saturday, and it's at the Boys and Girls Club on Burke Street in Frederick, and it's from 9 a.m. to 2:30.
9 a.m. to 2:30. Everybody got that? So all my viewers, make sure you come out and donate to Jack and Jill's blood drive because we have to save lives, like Steven said, and Mateo said, y'all just better be there. So, and Keisha, thank you so much. Kia, thank you so much. Stephen and Mateo, thank you so much for coming on my show and sharing your information. And thank you for putting that out there. So, and there it is. So, you guys, here's the information right there. Please just support and come out. We need more African American people that donate blood. It's really important. And it only takes maybe an hour of your time. And that hour you can scroll through your phone, social media. I don't know. So do something. Everybody needs a break. So please come out and donate blood. But until then, thank you, Jack and Jill. Keep doing the great work in Frederick County. We really appreciate you, ladies and men and fathers, families of the Jack and Jill. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.